Oh, it's the Cundy Nathan Show.
Hello and welcome to episode 008 of the Cundy Nathan Show. My name's Nathan.
My name's Cundlezia.
And we are here again for another podcast vaguely associated to video games.
Yeah, well, that's the core subject, isn't it? That's like the central premise.
It's like the hub that we work from.
We do kind of wander off like a drunk man staggering home, like occasionally fall into the odd bush.
Trying doors as we go, seeing what's in there.
I did that once. I'm not trying doors, but trying to get into the neighbour's house with my keys.
Yeah, and
like
pretending that you was drunk.
Luckily no one came out.
Really, you just wanted to have a look around.
I was smashed, mate. I was fucking out of it. Been on the mamba all night. Been on the mambas. Just there for ages. And then after a while, I was like, hang on a minute. This isn't my front path.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Is there a big mamba scene in Bristol? We do talk about it each week.
Yeah, it's massive, mate. It's
Is it?
Taking off. Yeah, I've got the Mamba Emporium opening soon.
Oh, nice. So nice little bit of business going on for you there.
Yeah, sell it to the kiddies on their way to school.
Remember though, never do your own stock. You never dabble with your own stock, mate.
No, don't get high on your own supply. I think they say.
That is it. I just
don't
can't
get
think
high your own supply.
So I don't know what that was. I have no idea what that was. But apart from taking your own drugs then and getting properly off your face on Mamba,
It's me.
what have you been playing?
Jeez.
I'm straight in. I've gone straight in.
I've been playing Uncharted 4.
Oh, guess what?
You've been playing Uncharted 4?
Oh, yeah, I have, yes.
We've got some common ground there.
Because I guess people don't really know, but during the week, we barely speak to each other anyway. Like, we only ever speak to each other either via email, when we're sort of saying, should we do a podcast this week, or when we're doing this podcast.
I can't stand the sound of your voice, mate, so more than an hour and a half a week, and I'd be like, fucking...
How do I mute you on here?
I'm only joking, mate.
Should be an option for...
I'm only joking, mate.
I need to delete you off. So yeah, we because I play games at a different hour than you because of the different time zones, so I can't get to see, what it is that you've been playing. So I had no idea if you've been playing Uncharted or not. Did you know that I'd been playing it?
No.
Oh, sweet deal.
So this is like a big surprise. It's like a big...
It's like a big
no,
surprise.
It's not a real policewoman. It's a lady that's taking her clothes off surprise. That kind of surprise? Or
what's going on here? What's this you're talking about?
I don't know, something just flashed in my head and it had to come out.
You've gone old school stripograms.
They still happen, don't they? You still get them.
Oh, God, I don't know. I remember being in a pub when it was like a guy in a Tarzan outfit, and I mean he didn't. By the very description of them, it's a stripogram, so you expect them to strip, but he was already in like a posing pouch and the old leopard skin across the shoulder type thing. So there was no stripping involved.
Right. Did he not get his bits and pieces out then?
Yeah, we got his bits and pieces out, yeah.
Ungawa, my friend.
We got him. Got him. Get his legs. Get his legs.
The elephant started stampeding and that.
Yeah, he had an elephant. He did an elephant trick. It was weird.
Mate. Oh, what, without any pockets? That's clever. In just his pouch. Was it for a man?
He had really flabby thighs. So he just pulled the flab out on his thighs.
It's so awkward.
Yeah.
I'd leave the pub. I'd be like, I've left something outside. I've left my dog outside or something like that.
Left your dog outside. Yeah. Wait, where were we? What was we talking about?
Uncharted.
Oh, for God's sake. Good.
The Strippogram podcast. So Uncharted. So how far into it are you?
I have... should we... Do you know what the chapter numbers are? Because otherwise we might be spoiling it for each other.
Well, we got to talk about something, I suppose.
Oh, God.
You've done like the bit up until the credits, yeah? The opening section.
What, till the end credits? That's finishing the game, mate, surely.
Oh,
You finished it. You finished it already.
It's fucking annoying. You know what I mean?
You're very tense today. Have you had to go on your Mamba this morning? Because
Mamba. No. I've only had a coffee and a banana, and that's it.
That's why you're all tetchy.
I'm running on empty.
Just have a little toot on your mamba, and then let's get back into it. Right, I've just arrived in Scotland.
Scotland's in it?
Spoilers.
No, I've not got that far.
Haven't you?
I've got...
Where are you up to then?
Well, I can talk about... The bit I wanted to talk about really was like the opening section, so I can talk about that.
Let's go, let's go.
So,
let's go.
So the opening...
Obviously, it's the biggest game to be talking about right now, because it's only just been released.
It's hot. It's hot stuff.
Contemporary. We're actually contemporary.
Yeah, I know. We're not talking about games that are like years old.
Oh, I feel a bit dizzy. But quick, talk about something old.
I think the opening section is like different class in terms of the how it sets everything up. How it's like a super effective tutorial. So it teaches you everything. It's got everything in there, but it's so varied. But the pace is well managed. It never feels like, oh, what's going on now? Oh my god, this is all just happening a bit too fast. But you get to do loads of different bits in that opening section. So you get you get to kill some boats, and you get to run away from a nun.
You get to kill a boat.
Kill boats, run away from a nun. What else happens? You get to have a fight in prison. You go to like some secret pirate house thing. And that's all within like, what's that, like the first hour and a half, and within that is contained like your fighting tutorial, your driving, swimming, moving, climbing. You get to start using the little swingy rope thing, and also you get to play as young Nathan as well.
You do.
Nathan, you spastic.
You can't.
I just said
Why
it.
have you done that?
I don't know, because whenever he says it on the programme, I'm just repeating what someone else says on the show.
Right, on Angry Boys, was it?
Yeah, Angry Birds.
Right, don't say that again.
I'm sorry, mate.
Upset me.
I'm sorry. I've let myself down. I'm sorry. I apologise to everyone.
Yeah,
so
you've gone full Ricky Gervais.
But it's and like the detail. Like I spent probably like the first hour and a bit just like going ooh and ah.
Yeah.
Everything. Because it just looks fucking amazing.
It does look fantastic, yeah.
It looks so amazing, it's almost painful to look at. I just cannot imagine, there was a man sat somewhere, painstakingly working on, like, the edge of a door or something. I noticed a bit where you walk in to the prison, the bent guy in prison.
Yeah. Alvarez?
Yeah, you walk... Is it Alvarez?
Was it Vasquez?
Not the drug guy, but the warden that's sort of helping you.
Vargas?
Louis Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vargas,
You walk into his office, and as your door opens, like I just looked at the edging of the door, and just the detail on it, it's just like... It's just stuff you wouldn't... Because normally when you're in a game and you stop to look around, like some of the magic kind of falls away. It's like, oh, I can see that looks a bit shit, and this is a bit rubbish. But everything any time I've tried to do that in Uncharted so far, it's the magic is still intact.
Do you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. Sorry, go on. What was you going to say?
I was going to say it's like Paul Daniels never died.
Oh, come on.
So I'm glad I had a
just
chance
upsetting everyone today.
Yeah.
Paul Daniels fans, the PC crowd. Just calm yourself down, all right? get your mamba down, yeah. But no, I was going to say the same thing about the graphics. One of the like main points about the graphics and the way that they work is like how like Naughty Dog just have this sort of magic that they can harness the PlayStation in such a way that they always deliver benchmark graphics every single time. Now. I know that they work closely, obviously, with Sony, so they probably get early access to dev kits and things like that. But when it comes to actual like putting that effort in there and the outcome to it and showcasing exactly what they can do, it's always above and beyond everyone else. The closest rival to it is MGS, and that took about 1 million years to make. Like in terms of visuals, but then you think about these other games that are being like made, like even GTA to a certain extent, like the landscapes and everything like that look fantastic. But in fact, no, GTA is probably a good example of like harnessing
bad
it.
example.
But there's bad example. There's probably there's like 3 developers, like Konami, which is Kojima Productions, which is no longer intact, Naughty Dog, and Rockstar, that they just managed to get the best out of that machine every single time. And like you say, with Uncharted 4, like the graphics are just, I know they're like a basic thing to talk about, but they're amazing, absolutely amazing.
Their graphics is good.
They've got top graphics, like,
and it's just the variety as well. I mean, like I say, in the opening bit, you got a bit on the rolling ocean, big storm in an ocean, and you've got like the kind of grimy sort of prison stuff.
Yeah.
But then even the grimy prison, as you're walking through the corridors and stuff, the lighting's just incredible, and some of it just looks, it just looks stunning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then when you come out of the prison, you go into like pirate land, and it's just like, wow, this is just the variety, just the scope and the scale of it is just like, this is great.
I think is the underwater bit, is that after the credits roll?
The bit when he's in the diving frogman thing, that's just after the credits. That's the first chapter after the credits.
That bit in the water was just like insane. Like,
I will say now though, there's no way under there would look as fucking clean as that.
No,
because I know. I think you're meant.
He's in the Hudson River, isn't he?
Exactly. I know it's meant to be like, oh, you're on an adventure. Oh, no, actually, his life's gone really boring and dull.
Yeah.
But it's like, because when it opens, it's like, oh wow, where am I? I'm like in the Mauritius or something. It's amazing. So these beautiful fish swimming around, and it's beautiful clear water. And then he goes up, it's like, the only thing floating in this water would be turds, shopping trolleys, and the odd
body. Yeah,
the odd cement-shoed bodies.
Oh, did you hear about that? They found a gang-related grisly murder at the bottom of. No, he was washed up on a beach wearing concrete boots recently. Was it in LA or New York?
I can't comment on that, mate.
Are you?
Some people might be listening.
Oh,
so
right.
It's just you have to edit this bit out.
Where were you a couple of months ago when this was all going down, mate?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know where it was. A couple of hours ago when he just got in. Been out all night. When he just got in, just boom, straight on it.
Mamba-driven killing spree somewhere.
I haven't been to bed in 3 weeks.
The police might want to talk to you.
I will say about the second bit.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of doing this together because we both play the same thing. So it's not like a my bit, your bit.
No. But you're not letting me talk. So,
the bit
you carry on.
So the bit after the opening credits, I found that I played that bit last night, and it was complete contrast to the opening section.
Yeah.
I admit I was getting bored. I almost fell asleep. I was nodding off. There is a lot of it. Almost became interactive drama type fodder.
But I think I thought that was the beauty of the opening section, the complete contrast between the prologue and the actual game, like the main guts of it, because it is supposed to show that Drake's different, he's changed, from what it was showing at the beginning, and obviously this is spoilers. We should probably put a spoiler warning early on. But when you're playing as a kid, as Drake as a child, and then seeing how he relates to Sam, like his brother, I think it sets the next bits up perfectly. And once you get a bit further into the game, where are you up to now, did you say?
That he's just gone off. He's just lied about where he's going, and then he's just gone off to that place where he's going to go.
The huge mansion
is
in Italy.
He's got a tuxedo on underneath his...
Honestly, I've just completed that chapter just before we started doing the podcast.
Right.
Because I wanted to get a little bit further so that I had something to talk about, because I thought you would have, if you had been playing it, you'd have caned it.
No, I've not. I don't have time. I've squeezed in like a couple of sessions, and that's as far as I got. I think you're right. I mean, I think the whole point of that bit is that Nathan's life is boring now, and that is reflected in what's happening in that bit. Yeah. But I just felt it kind of dragged a bit too long for me. It was just a bit. I mean, I loved it. It's amazing. I mean, this, again, Naughty Dog do that kind of like emotive character interaction stuff better than anyone else.
Yeah.
And the interplay between, the relationship between him and his missus.
Yeah.
Elena, sorry.
Yeah.
Ellen. Yeah, I've been really paying attention. And his Mrs. Davina.
Yeah. Sonic.
It is amazing, and you can really sense, the relationship between the two of them, and I really like that. And you've got that bond. The bond is there. Not James Bond. That's a different game.
No, that was last podcast. 007.
But I did, I kind of like, and it had an element of
element.
It had an elephant of...
You got Ellen on the brain.
It had an elephant of, like, melancholy about it, that whole section. Like, he's running around in his attic playing, shooting stuff, and, there's still that lingering sadness that his life now is super dull and boring.
But you
and I think...
But you say that, I'm sort of, like, just taking a leap of imagination here, but... Well, I don't actually know if you could leave the attic without doing this, but when he's rolling around and shooting with the sort of Nerf gun and things like that, like, is that something that you have to do, or is that something that we feel compelled to do as a gamer? Because the attic door is there. You could just... I don't know if you can just leave. I'm assuming that you can, but it's interesting that... You just said, it was dragging too long. But I assume that you went around and looked at each of the things that was in his attic and also picked up the gun and shot. So even though you're saying that it was boring, you still felt compelled to interact with all of that stuff rather than try to rush to it.
I think because it was there to be
pacing.
interacted. Yeah, and I get completely what that section's about. But I just found it a bit like... a bit too draggy. It just dragged a bit for me. I mean, I'm saying it's dragged, but and it's probably off the back of the opening bit. And again, it was to reflect that his life is now something different, and how he's longing for adventure again. But he's kind of put that away to be Mr. Settle Down and be sensible man.
I mean, it's not even spoilers talking about this, because like Uncharted 4 would be a very, very dull game if he didn't actually turn that section of his life off. The being boring and just hanging around and doing family stuff. So it's not long before he gets properly involved in the old crimes again. But I think the pacing in the early stages of it, like as I say, I've just gone to Scotland with it now, which isn't giving anything away. It's just the next section of the game.
Yeah.
After that point, and it's just like I want to play it more. I thought maybe I'll just tell Cundy I can't do the podcast today. I'll just carry on playing this. but no, here I am, longing for my Nathan Drake moments. But what
longing and yearning,
longing. But what I was going to say was, oddly enough, the prison bit that you was talking about right at the beginning, where he's like obviously having a fight with many a different person, because that's what you do when you're in prison. It reminded me of Def Jam. It was really strange. It reminded me of Def Jam Fight for New York, and it made me like long for it even more than I usually do on a day-to-day basis, because everyone knows that Def Jam Fight for New York is the best fighting game that was ever released.
Get a room.
It was the best fighting game that was ever released on PS2, and it just had that vibe about it. I think it was the close-up camera, the facial expressions of the people that you was fighting. It's very basic. Like there's no like
and they're all like gangster homeboys.
Yeah, exactly. Essay.
Kind of.
Essays. Yeah.
Essay. What time do I need to get my essay in?
Yeah. Well, you get.
I'm just working on my essay.
The essay gets right into that freaking machine, doesn't it? Drake puts his essay right into that machine.
Big time. I tried playing. The bit where you. Everyone knows. Yeah, the bit where you get
spoilers. Spoilers.
Well, it's not, though,
Spoiler.
Because I'd seen the trailers with his brother in it, like further on in the game.
His brother's in it.
So there's a bit you get to play as the brother escaping from prison.
Yeah.
I tried to play that bit without using the gun to see how far I could get.
Again, amazing pacing and like just giving you that sort of idea that there is freedom there. Because I did the same thing. Because
normally you're just like, oh, where's a fucking cleaver?
Yeah, come on!
More weapons! I need more weapons!
I want to kill everyone you're escaping with as well. No, when we was when I went to do that level, I almost restarted that point because I shot someone and I thought, this reminds me a little bit of the no Russian section in Call of Duty, where you don't have to shoot anyone in that the infamous airport bit where they're all blasting each other to bits, blasting the innocent people to bits.
I was crying at that bit.
Yeah, while you was shooting with the machine gun.
Why they have to make it so horrible?
While you was pumping the machine gun as well.
So much destruction.
Your tears and crying were in sync with the amount of bullets that you were spraying at the innocent running civilians.
Just crying while I'm firing off, like. I'm sorry.
They're making me do it. But no, that's what it made me think of. So I went to restart it, and I thought, no, come on. If you keep doing stuff like this, because there's been sections of the game where I've been like, right, I'm going to have a look around this bit, and then I'm going to go around this bit, and it takes ages, because obviously there's like lots of artifacts for you to find as you go, like treasures and things like that. So I thought, forget it, I'm just going to play it as I have. So killed everyone on the way out. But was it possible?
No.
It wasn't.
It got quite a long way, and then there was a bit where got quite a long way, and all the dudes you're with, they were taking care of everyone if you left it long enough. But got to a section, I was there for at least 3 hours,
right?
And they didn't kill everyone, so it's like, oh, I've got to do everything myself. It's like they want me to play the game or something.
Oh, mate.
I don't know what happened if you try and shoot the main guy you're escaping with.
Give that a whirl.
Problem solved, because that seems to be the crux of what's happening in the game. Is what happens. That's what, you know.
See, you've obviously got to the end of that bit where he's met up with Drake again, right? Where he's met up with Nathan again.
Yeah, Nathan.
So the one thing the other thing that I was going to say about it was, like, I don't trust Sam. I've got a theory about it. Shall I?
Come on, mate.
But do I say it now and potentially spoil it for all the listeners?
Well, it's only a theory, though, isn't it?
Or do I say it? Yeah, but I might spoil it for you as well. Because then you might be playing it, and you might be like, whoever's playing Uncharted 4 after listening to this might be like, oh, now I've got that in my brain, and I can't get it out of my brain, and I'm always looking for these signs now.
You just said that you think he's going to double cross him somewhere. I mean, there wouldn't be some double crossing going on.
I didn't say that, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. But I'm thinking as well that prologue bit.
Yeah, prolapse bit. Yeah,
prolapse. The prologue bit was it wasn't true to what actually happened.
Continue. Expand upon this.
Well, I think he's working for that Alvarez guy. Is it Alvarez? Right. Is it Alvarez?
Alvarez Stardust.
Alvarez Stardust. Another contemporary reference. We're back. We're back, everyone.
Kids love a bit of Alvarez Stardust, don't they? I don't even know any songs he did.
From Alvarez Stardust?
Yeah. All those classics. Yeah. All the greatest hits of Alvin Stardust and the Chipmunks. Oh, I'd watch that. I've seen an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie at the cinema.
Have you?
Oh, never again, mate. Even the kids don't. Even the kids want to fucking put Alvin and the Chipmunks into one of those chipping machines. You know,
oh, come on, mate. They're just tiny chipmunks. Come on, leave
exactly. Them alone. Chipping machine. That's what it's for. Chipmunks in it.
Oh, come on.
Vegetarian, mate. I don't mean that. I'm a vegetarian. Me of all people.
I know, exactly. What's that there, though, that you got there? It looks like a roast chicken that you got on your desk. A half-eaten roast chicken. You got bits around your mouth as well. Really, I've gone off the rails, mate.
That's not chicken.
Oh.
But it's finger licking good.
God, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what that means.
Come on.
So yeah, I've got the theory that he's. I think it's more to do with. He regrets again. This is part of the prologue, so if you've not played it, then maybe fast forward by about 2-3 minutes.
Come on.
But I've got this theory that he's still got this hang-up about the fact that Nathan just bloody left him.
Right.
And ran off with Rafe.
Yeah.
Or it was all staged, that bit, so that, like, he wasn't kept in prison. He actually went somewhere else.
Right.
To work for Rafe or for something, like take him out of the... I don't know. I'm just
I'm not
grasping at straws,
sold on the idea at the moment, but then who knows? It's fiction, isn't it?
Well,
anything can happen in the next
well,
half hour.
I think one thing, the one thing that I do reckon could be true is that the telling of the story from Sam to Nathan about exactly what happened with Alvarez
could be
is he's taken creative license with it, and he is actually just working with him without being threatened or anything, and he's not doing it to save his life. He's doing it because he's greedy and he wants this money.
Right, okay. He has got that look. He's got that kind of desperate scumbag look about him. A little bit like, what was that series on Netflix where the brother comes back to some Florida Keys island, and he's got...
Narcos?
No, not Narcos. Can't remember. It's called something like Family Business or something like that. I don't know. It's good.
Yeah, it's so good that you remember the name of it, yeah.
But they have a sibling comes back and he's got the same scumbaggy sort of look where he's up to...
It's that
classic.
Up to no good. It's that classic, he's wearing all denim. Something's wrong with him. He's gone Shaking Stevens style.
He's gone treble denim.
Denim jacket, denim jeans. Yeah. He's in. Yeah, so yeah, I basically don't trust him, and probably by the next podcast I'll have finished it. In fact, I'll probably finish it this evening. I'm really, really into it.
Come on, mate.
Massively into it. Still playing MGS as well.
Always. Never finish.
Always. Have you been playing anything else apart from Uncharted? Are we done on Uncharted, or do you want to? Is there something else?
I think so for now. I think that's pretty cool, isn't it? With
yeah.
Skip it back. Ow.
Was there another game?
The other thing I've been playing is so I've been cracking on with Alienation still.
Right, go on. Yeah, it's got better, right?
It has got better. I'm really enjoying it, but I've hit level 30. That's where the level caps.
Right. Okay.
And then you enter into the realm of hero levels. So you get level 30, and then you get +1, +2, +3.
Right.
And those levels are basically each time you hit one of those levels, your max HP increases. But also now that I've now it's become like a big massive kind of loot pickup kind of thing to get the best kind of legendary weapons. Mm-hmm. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm enjoying upgrading those because it then sort of opens up that you can upgrade your weapons with like different cores.
Yeah.
So and the more powerful the core, the more powerful you make the weapon, and they do different effects, some of the weapons and things like that. So I'm spending a lot of time doing that. But I do think the game took a really long time to get to the point where I am enjoying it now, and I feel I feel pretty good at it as well. I'm quite good at it now.
Yeah, right.
But that is...
Sure you are.
It's weird. I keep getting kicked from games. It's like...
All right, yeah.
But yeah, it's... so I'm really enjoying it now, but I do feel it's like taken a long time for me to get to that point, and I'll keep going with it as well. But I think I wish like the loot drop stuff. I've been looking for a particular weapon for ages, and I just cannot find. I'm just because it's just random.
Well, that's the whole point of it, though, right? Because then that keeps you going back.
Oh, it's just doing me in.
Keeps you going back, and then because it knows that that's the one that you want as well. It's a little algorithm.
It's making me play the game differently because there are ways that you can increase the drop load. So if you like sheet 3 checkpoint save points, spawn point things, then that multiplies the amount of stuff that you get at the end of the level. And there's like you can increase your XP by hitting you go to a certain blue flower thing. So you can complete the levels and you wander around and do all these other bits to increase your score and your XP and your loot drop. So it's become a lot more strategic in how and what I'm wanting to get from the game. I'm playing it a lot more in single player as well to try and get to do all the stuff, because you get in with some knobs and
come on, mate.
And they people play it completely differently. So
well, that's one of the reasons why you have a headset, right?
No, I'll just go and play it on my own.
No.
Taking my ball and I'm fucking running off with it. Get your own ball. So yeah, but now I feel like I've got the weaponry to cope with playing on my own, because that's the thing. When you start out, it's just overwhelming. It's just like shit. I'm just getting pasted. I'm getting pounded. pounded. But
Shame.
You're
still not convinced me to buy it. So
I tell you what, as well, another thing. Talking about knobs, Overwatch. I stopped playing it in the end because, again, I admittedly I didn't have my headset on or anything.
Yeah.
But I just ended up in groups with too many kind of disparate parts, and everyone having their own way of playing the game. If you've got friends to play with, that Overwatch would be great. But if you don't have, I found it quite frustrating in the end because I wanted to be playing as a certain character, the health giver, like the lover of people.
Yeah.
Just Florence Nightingale on the battlefield.
Yeah. Big
but
pipe.
If other people wanted to play as that as well, then I was like, oh well, that's pointless because if we're all running around healing, no one's killing. We need killers.
I think that's the whole point of it, though, isn't it? Like that it tries to make you find other people, like-minded people to play with. It's like having a gang, isn't it?
And it encourages you to try different characters as well. But I didn't find any others that I liked. I'm not that good at the shooting stuff, so I kind of get frustrated with it. Whereas, because I like to feel like I'm useful in a team,
right?
And if I'm not, then I go and like flagellate myself.
We'll cry in the corner.
So I stopped playing it. And you know what? I don't think unless I suddenly found like loads of friends to play online with. I mean, even just playing with you was sort of good enough. Right.
Sort of good enough. Right,
high praise indeed. But really, you need a whole team because if you come up against a team, an entire cohesive unit, you get smashed every time. Because there's organisation to it. That's what you need.
But I think you can't just complain about that type of thing and not do anything about it. Well, I know you have done.
Not play it. That's it. I've done it.
Yeah, well, exactly. But I mean, if you want to play it and want to get the best out of it, then that means that you should actively try to get a group of people together to play it. Or just not play it. We actually got a couple of people to play it by the fact that we was talking about it on the last podcast.
Oh, we should have hooked up for a game or something. See, it's not like I haven't got like a.
It's the old time difference thing for me though. Like, it's just working that time difference out.
You got to be more committed, mate. You got to be prepared to be playing 2 in the morning. You just got to be committed, mate.
No. It's that time of the show when the old chart rundown happens. Yes.
Oh yes, baby. Made it to second episode.
Oh yes. It's almost a regular. I think it has to appear for 3 episodes and then it becomes a regular. But what have we got this week?
We have got, inspired by the Uncharted, we have got the best. Well, I don't know if it's the best. It's top 10 brothers in games.
Let's hit it.
New entry at 10. It's Uncharted's good old Drake boys, Nathan and Sam. They're sure as heck of meaning no harm, but if you got some treasure, they'll rip out your spine and push you under a goddamn truck, and you better believe that shit, boy. Number 9. Daddy was a demon, Mummy was a human. It's those mixed up, messed up, devil-may-cry mofos, Dante and Virgile. Working together at number 8, it's the do-gooding sibling duo, Nay and Nay, from Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Stupid names, but a very good game, with a sad ending. One of them dies! Spoilers! Number 7. They look a bit spivvy, made a game about an egg called Dizzy. Yes, it's 80s coding heartthrobs and real-life man beings, Philip and Andrew Oliver, a.k.a. the Oliver twins. Ew, fancy that. Sharing bananas at number 6, it's Nintendo's knuckle-scraping brother apes, Donkey and Funky Kong. Hit me! A non-mover at number 5. Alone they are just tragic dudes in denim tabards, but together they are Double Dragon. It's badass twin bros, Billy and Jimmy Lee, and they're gonna hit you in the face! At number 4, it's more actual human being types. You know them as the Hauser boys behind GTA. You got it. It's Sam and Dan. They got the same mum, because they're brothers, silly! Number 3. Get your cogs out, boys. It's the heroic but now mostly dead locust-hating Carmine brothers from Gears of War. And number 2, Forever Blowing Bubbles. It's the bubblegum best bubbies and bubble-blowing bubble dragon bros, Bub and Bob from the Bubblicious Bubble Bobble. No surprises at number 1. It's the most famous brothers in all the wide world of gaming. It's the Cockney, Cool Blimey, Strike a Light Mario Brothers. Don't mug me off, Luigi, you fucking slicker!
There you have it then. This week's chart rundown of best gaming brothers.
Forget about it.
Hey, you had a little stats or facts that you wanted to tell us about?
Just interesting that I found out while doing that.
Interesting. We'll be the judge of that. Okay.
Yeah, I was hitherto unfamiliar with this factoid. Was that the Hauser brothers, their mum, obviously, who they share because
I already know this fact.
What is it? The Coronation Street fact?
No, it's the. Well, go on. You tell me the Coronation Street fact.
Well, their mum was in Coronation Street as 2 different actresses, as 2 different not 2 different actresses. That would be impossible. As 2 different characters, once in the 70s and once in the 80s.
Wow. She was also in the original. Bloody hell! What was it called?
Oh, great one, mate. This is a fucking great fact.
It's you rubbing off on me. This.
Okay, come on.
Made me lose my memory.
Do you want some tissues?
What's it called? Michael. You know that Michael Caine movie where he's like, where he's a badass with like a shotgun. Get Carter. She was in the original one of that.
Oh, who was she in that? She
was like his main squeeze.
Oh, what, the one he has a dirty phone call with?
Yeah.
And his landlady's like getting all excited on a rocking chair, and it keeps squeaking louder and louder.
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm just gonna check that. You keep talking. Fill some air, mate.
Yeah. Wah. Do.
What was she called?
Maggie Philbin. Margot.
No. Geraldine Moffat. Yeah, she's here in her underwear with him.
That is great, mate. That's a good fact.
Yeah.
My name is Michael Caine.
Yeah.
I'd blow the fucking doors off.
That was the unedited version where it just went straight into it.
Director's cut.
Beast version.
They're throwing. Oh no, that's the wrong film. I was going to say,
mate, come on.
They're throwing bloody darts. That's in some football violent movie though, not Zulu.
Really? Come on.
What, the football violent one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for hooliganism. What it's called.
Right.
Bloody darts, Gubbo.
Yeah, it would have been good if there was an actual end point to that then.
And Moffat.
Yeah.
No relation to Stephen Moffat, I suppose, who writes the Doctor Who stuff. And
I have no idea, mate.
Little Miss Moffat.
I have no idea. Anyway.
A Poffit. Eating turds and...
Yep. Good.
Save me from this hole.
Listeners' questions. Let's save him with some listeners' questions. Let's have a look at what we got this week. I did miss some out last week, but as I said before, tag them with Cundy Nathan QS on Twitter, and then I will be able to find them. If you do want to actually send us any podcast-related questions, then you have to send them to @Cundy Nathan Show. And
is that questions
Twitter.
Like about a podcast, about podcasts?
Yeah, just anything.
You're like, what's your favourite podcast?
Well,
podcast
should we work through these questions first, because I think they're all in the same vein.
Let's do it.
Right, hang on. Right. Let me do it.
Come on, mate.
I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. I'm doing it. You bloody put me off, didn't you? Anyway, stop it. Matt, not Matty, says, favourite TV series or film you would want making into a game?
I always go for, which is funny actually, because I've just started reading it again, and I've said this before on a previous podcast in another life. I Am Legend. I always think that would make a really good. I guess State of Decay is kind of like that, but that where you kind of hold up, you're the last human on Earth, well apparently, and during the day you get a chance to secure your hovel. And make it secure and get supplies, go out, do a bit of killing of sleeping vampires, that sort of thing, like resource management. And then at night, It's just a bit more.
They're,
oh God, it's night.
You know they're literally making that game.
What, I Am Legend?
Well, not I Am Legend, but they're making a game that actually uses those mechanics that you're talking about.
That's great. See, I should be making games, so I would have made this game years ago. Because it is good. It's a great book as well.
But now I need to find what game it is. I think it's called like Night... Not Nightmare.
Night.
What, Midnight?
Midnight Express? Midnight Club.
Midnight Club, yeah. They're making Midnight Club.
It's like playing charades.
It is. It's awful. I can't remember what the name of it is. I'll search for it in a second.
Good one, mate.
But it's been like talked about for the past like 3-4 years or something like that. And it's going to be quite literally during the day. You go out, get your bits, make your base, reinforce it with all the stuff that you find, and then at night, then after dark, you get attacked.
Right. Okay.
But you have to make sure that the base that you've made can stand up to it. What the hell is it called? Is it from Epic Games? It might be from Epic Games.
I'm not playing it. I'll tell you, a Naughty Dog would be good at that, because I'll tell you what does capture the kind of spirit of how I imagine the Richard Matheson book to be. There's been a few films of it, and they've never really kind of explored the kind of the stuff that the main guy's going through. I can't quite remember what it's called now. Yeah. But because he kind of there's a lot of times he just wants to throw in the towel. He's got a bit of a drink problem. He's like he's not. I don't know how to call him an anti-hero, but he's not. He's not like a hero type. I know when they made the most recent film, they put Will Smith in there, and he's pretty buff and hero-like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Naughty Dog, he's got flaws, and I think someone like Naughty Dog, something like The Last of Us, that kind of backs against the wall kind of desperation. I think there is one guy, isn't there? Like there's one guy in Last of Us. They go to like a town, and he's in there. He's pretty much like that. He's just got his own little kind of fortified basement area, and he's put traps and stuff around the town. And it's very much like that, but it's that kind of the flaws of a human character in a situation like that, which I find interesting about the book.
Is he the one? Is he the one that you find out has his partner hung himself or something?
Yeah, I think he's a gay character in Last of Us, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that I just think they'd be really good at handling the original kind of vibe of the book, which is why I like it a lot, because I think there's been about 4 different films of I Am Legend, and there's a Charlton Heston one, I think, which is pretty terrible. But none of them get. I like the Will Smith one, but none of them get that character right. They don't do it right quite.
Yeah. Don't do it justice.
No, they don't do it quite right. You know what I mean?
They don't do it quite right. This game that I was talking about, that follows that same sort of script, is called Fortnite. So instead of like fortnight, as in
it's 4
2 weeks, spelt as fort, and then night.
Oh, FORT space night.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was going to say fought, as in I fought the law and the law.
No.
But that Fortnite.
Oh no, it's actually it's all one word actually, and it's made by the guys that made Bulletstorm. People Can Fly.
Oh right, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's coming out later this year.
Cheers. I'll keep a
always on the pulse.
On something pulsing.
Always on the pulse. The game that I would choose to be the film that I would choose, or TV series for a game, would be Archer. Do you watch Archer? You ever watched it on Netflix?
No, I've seen it on there.
It's brilliant.
I've seen the thumbnail on there.
It's brilliant. It's one of the best animated TV shows I've ever seen. It's right up there, mate.
With
Simpsons,
Top Cat.
Simpsons.
Hello,
Top
Officer Dipper.
Cat, Tasmanian Devil.
Ruby Woo.
Looney Tunes. Animaniacs.
Oh, I love Animaniacs. Rugrats.
Rugrats. Are we just naming cartoons now?
Yeah, Flintstones.
I'd like Archer to be set out like a Monkey Island type thing, point and click.
All right, okay, yeah.
I think that'd be pretty exciting.
That could happen. Well, isn't the main woman in Archer? Isn't she? Is she the woman that does like the Ubisoft conferences?
Yeah.
Over it, mate. See, I know these things.
What's she called? Can't remember what her name is.
Maggie.
No, I follow her on Twitter as well. I can't remember what she's called. But yeah, it's that person.
Mate.
She's she's also Ross Geller's girlfriend in Friends, in a series of Friends.
In real life or in fiction world?
Well, Ross Geller's fictional. I've told you about this before. The people on the TV shows are played by actors.
It looks real.
They're not the real people, okay?
I get confused.
I know, you got very confused, haven't you?
Okay. I'll tell you just one last thing.
Here we go.
I was just thinking then, I'd like to see Incredible Shrinking Man as well. That'd be a good one. I think that might be a Richard Matheson as well, same guy who did I Am Legend. Can't remember. But yeah, I'd like to. That would be quite an interesting concept because as you change, the world. I mean, the whole of the book takes place pretty much in his basement as he's getting smaller and smaller, and the stuff. So what once all the things that weren't problems to him suddenly become problems as he gets smaller and smaller until eventually it becomes so infinitesimal. He never dies in it. Spoilers, it's massive spoilers.
I just got to that bit and was hoping like, is he? Is this peril going to mean he's going to die?
You obviously get the obvious stuff like, he's fighting a spider with a pin, but he gets so small. He thinks, what's going to happen when I get down to like molecular level? Am I just going to disappear? But he just gets down to molecular level, and he's no longer seeing the world as we see it. He's seeing it as like tiny, tiny molecules. It's really interesting.
So the next question is from Piston Twister. He says, have you tried any of the new VR devices? He says he's had 5 minutes on Rift and he's a convert. And then a second part of the question is it the future of gaming? I'm going to say it's not going to be the future of gaming unless they have a moment, like a tipping point game where it's like everyone has to experience this. Yeah. Like the current sort of like, we've got a fight sim, we're plugging it into one of these FPSs and things like that. That's not a selling point for me. It has to be something that's like, this experience is absolutely fantastic. You need to play this game. That's what's going to get me into it. But I haven't played on any VR headsets because they give me motion sickness.
Did you not have a go on the Oculus?
No, that was you and old Raphael Marsh who made DL Central.
Yeah, because that was a few years back now, so I don't know. I can see it being the future, but in some aspect, I think it will play a bigger part in things in like 3D or anything like that. Whereas it does feel like it's a kind of a future technology still in development. It's a work in progress for sure. So I'm still not that fussed about it. I'd have a go, but I think we talked about it before, haven't we? Like I'd have a go, and maybe it would convince me. But yeah, I still don't like the idea of wearing those massive spectacles.
Very true. Very true. Eddie Rose says, excluding direct sporting competition, when in your life have you run the fastest?
When I left. I left a coat I really liked in the back of a taxi, and as the taxi pulled away, I chased it down the road.
Yes.
And I think I would have caught it. I think I would have caught it, but my mates were shouting, and I thought, maybe one of them picked it up, so I stopped, and they were like, "No, we're just shouting, like, run." So that was that. Lost it.
That's sometimes Fox's Olympians as well. When they're in the races, when they're shouting from the crowd, going, "Run, go on, run! You're doing it!"
Someone's shooting at us. Stop!
Some of them stop. They just stop and they go, "What was that? What was she saying? I've won already!" And then they just get past.
Well,
oddly enough, the fastest that I've ever run was in a similar circumstance as well. I was in Rome Airport. And I'd been to the toilet and I'd left my passport, wallet and mobile phone on the top of the cistern.
Oh, mate, smash the cistern.
Smash the cistern. And I'd got to my gate, which was must have been about, a kilometre away. Yeah. A kilometre away, or just under. In terms of the ways that you had to run to get to it, upstairs and escalators and then round corners and things like that. And that was the fastest that I've ever run, I think.
I quite like running fast sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I like running, but sometimes I like to, like at the end of the run, I always run fast.
Yeah.
A bit Forrest Gumpy.
It's better to do the fast bit of running at the beginning when you've got most energy though, right?
No, I like to do it at the end just to push myself, just to give me that last bit of lactic acid. Like,
just to make sure the heart seizes up completely.
I kind of run, in Dumb and Dumber. The bit in Dumb and Dumber where right at the end where he's chasing after the bus.
And he's going...
with
his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, run like that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Chris Cook says, Katie Hopkins and Donald Trump are drowning outside your house. Which video game do you play instead of helping them?
Any video game. I don't know, one loud enough so I can drown out their cries.
Like a Battlefield or something like that. Yeah. To switch it up nice and loud. Pull it in, Alistair Miller.
Hey, babe, coming off. Pull it ring in.
He says, what's the worst sunburn you've ever had? I am asking this because I just got sunburn.
What question can I ask? My sunburn is... Oh, yeah, what's your worst sunburn? Worst sunburn I ever had, we went on holiday. This is when it used to be quite hot in summer and stuff.
I think that still happens. Yeah.
In Dubai, mate. It's always hot. It's always summer there.
It's 38 degrees today.
It's been nice here recently. Little weather update.
38 degrees here.
What is it?
38.
You can't...
I went to Oman yesterday and it was 42.
People dying on the streets, mate. Did you take Eric out the car? You didn't leave him in the car, did you?
Of course I didn't. Why did I do that?
I left the window open like a centimetre. It's fine.
Yeah,
He's been there a day.
He was just breathing in the hot air. It's fine.
He slept through most of it. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I'd never do that. Never do
That's
that.
horrible.
Yeah, some terrible statistics about that.
I know.
One of the things that you have to be careful of out here is you have to test the floor. You have to put the back of your hand on the floor, like on the pavements and stuff, when you leave the building. If it's too hot to leave your hand on it, then it's too hot for dog's paws to stay on it.
They're not getting like cooling slippers or anything.
They do have little slippers, but I mean, even back in the UK, we had a raincoat for Eric, and he just went flat when we put it on him. He wouldn't go out in it. So getting him to wear actual booties is going to be impossible.
Like a kid, I'm not wearing that. It's not a fashion show, Eric. Just get out and fucking have a walk.
It's not even got 3 stripes on it. It's Adidas 2 stripes. I'll get taken the piss out of.
So what's happened?
Worst sunburn. So when it used to get hot back in 1950s, go on.
Yes. So it was. I went to Newquay or something like that, and like stayed in a caravan. And it was also before the days of parents even thinking about putting sun. I didn't even know sun cream was invented back then.
Yeah.
Because no one worried about it. It's just like, that's it. Yeah, go and run around in the sun.
Get
kids.
out there.
Oh, man. And I just got out. I don't know. It's neglect. Basically neglect. If it happened now, I expect my mum would be banged up for it. Because, fuck me, I was in like tears. Couldn't even put a shirt on me or anything.
Oh.
I, like in bed just crying, like couldn't calamine lotion all over me.
Not working though.
Yeah, mum trying to put calamine lotion on really gently, and I'm like, sobbing all night. It's horrible. It was horrible. And from that day on, I'm like, fuck the sun. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out the sun. I'm in the shade. If you want me, I'll be in the shade. I'm not going through that again.
Good stuff.
I'm basically down to the bone.
Yeah. Horrible. It was my worst one was in Ibiza, and it was
oi oi
oi oi hey oi
champion,
hey, get the patio chairs up, get it through the windows, lads. Go on.
On your mission, sex on stage.
Good days. Yeah, and I just. The one place that I didn't put sun lotion on was the tops and bottom of my feet. Stayed on a sun lounger for a good couple of hours, and honestly, it's the worst pain that I've ever felt. Like the bottom of my feet weren't even tanned. You couldn't tell that there was anything there. They looked a bit red, but I just couldn't walk. Could not walk on them. It was so painful. And the tops of my feet, I swear, they're still discoloured now. From when I did that, and that was in 2001.
Still waiting for it to like fade to go.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
Honestly, it's still got the old Nike flip flops that I had. Still got the shape of it.
Still got the Y.
Yeah, horrible.
Horrible. Painful, mate. It's not nice, is it? So how come old Alistair Miller's got a town in? Where's he been?
Dubai, maybe.
Up
Maybe in Dubai. Well, maybe you can tell us next episode.
Maybe he's been on the beds.
On the sunbeds. Fell asleep on one.
Yeah. Did he? That was Alistair that said he got Sirens to Titan, didn't he?
Yeah.
He got a book. Is that right? That I said I liked. I'd like to know how he got on with it.
I don't know. I'm not prepared.
I only want to know if he really liked it.
Yes. I'm not prepared to say yes without knowing the actual answer.
If that was you, Alice, I'd be interested to know how if you read it,
or whoever it was.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. Jurassic Farts says. He says if you could hold hands with any game character and skip down the street together, who would you choose?
Oh God. I don't know. I want to say Yorda from Ico because you kind of hold her hand anyway, so it's kind of. I'd share melon with her. Watermelon. I'd share some melon with her.
Come on, Miad.
Well, not what I would. That's what you do at the end of the game. Share some melon on a beach.
Right. Okay.
Because you're both dead.
Spoilers. Spoilers. Is that what it is? Is it? They're both dead.
That's some of the theorems. Yeah.
Right.
Some of the theorems. So you've gone to heaven on a beach and you're alone.
Interesting. Who would I walk down the street with? Maybe Adam from Streets of Rage. Just because he's been out of the limelight after Streets of Rage 1. He was kicked to the curb. I think he got taken hostage in Streets of Rage 2. And they had his bloody nephew, Blade. Was it Blade? Skate, wasn't it? Skate, he was called. He was on rollerblades.
Right.
And he was the worst character ever. But, yeah, just bring Adam back and just say, look, I know things went wrong, but we're holding hands now. We're having a little walk down the street. Hopefully you won't get kidnapped. These aren't the streets of rage. They're just streets of love, my friend.
Exactly. These are the streets of goodness.
Yeah.
That reminds me a bit of... I watched a bit of Double Dragon the other day when I was compiling the chart thing.
Double Dragon, the film?
No, the game.
All right.
And because at the start of that, one of their girlfriends gets kidnapped.
Yes.
But
carried over the shoulder and ran off.
That's right. Yeah, like this big guy comes in and punches her right in the belly. Like she goes over and then that's it. Up on his shoulder, away. It's like, wow, that's pretty harsh.
I mean, back during the Neanderthal period, that was basically dating. That was buying someone a drink.
Grabbing them.
Yeah. Can I buy you a drink? Get over the shoulder.
Yeah. Can I get you a punch in the head or in the belly, and then come back to mine? Yeah.
Where would you like it? Yeah. Jordan Jabroni.
Jabroni, forget about it.
Who used to write for DL Central.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also is part of a radio show, I think, in Manchester called Game Face. I tweeted about it the other day via the Cundy Nathan Show. I've pulled back the veil. Everyone knows who it is that does all the things behind it.
No, we employ someone to do that.
Yeah.
So we've got like a social media manager.
Yeah. He and she does that really well.
So that's good. So that's what's Game Face then? It's a radio show.
About games.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I'll check that out.
Check it out. Check it right out. And while you're checking it out,
buddy,
then you can answer his question. Do you think VR games can offer the freedom of traditional games, or are they destined to become a gimmick? I think this just goes back to that point that I was saying before about it's got to be something. For me, it has to be something that's going to be big, that drags me in, that everyone's playing, and they say, because I'm not a trailblazer.
No,
I'm a follower. I'm like
sheep.
There's early adopters, and then there's the sort of the mass that comes after them that they watch the trailblazers and then they do it. I'm in that second category there.
Yeah, I'm in no rush. For it for sure. Yeah. Well, I'm sure. I'm sure if as technology goes, it's got the potential to be one of the less gimmicky things. I saw something the other day which was quite interesting. Atari were working on, this is years ago, like in the 70s, they were working on this handheld machine called the Cosmos.
Right.
And that was meant to use holograms in it somehow.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, and I'd never heard of it before. Cosmos, like a handheld. They had, like, I think they had it in development for like a good few years, but I never heard of it.
Do you remember in the arcades there was like a hologram video game that you could play? It was a little bit like Dragon's Lair. Like there was only like one button and you had to press it in time and stuff like that. It was like a guy talking to you. Yeah, I remember that. I think I played that on Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I cannot remember what the name of it is because I've got a terrible name for it apart from
Hollow Kill,
Mad Dog McCree. No, it was like I seem to remember the guy was like talking to you. You looked into it, like it wasn't your traditional cabinet. You was like looking into it, and then he looked like a hologram, and he was like.
You've been on acid again, mate. Sounds like you've been doing some double dipping.
I feel like I'm coming up on it now, mate. Oh,
Put it in my eye. Put it in my eye.
I've taken acid again instead of my aspirins, haven't I?
Yeah. I used to be really impressed with holograms. I remember I think some of the first ones I saw, the really good ones, were outside Madame Tussauds in the London on a rare excursion with the family to the London, and I spent most of my time outside. They had holograms on the wall outside Madame Tussauds, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
Just back to Devon we went. Let's go and have a look at the holograms in London, kids.
It's a long way to go for that.
No, we did go into Madame Tussauds as well, but that was the first time I'd seen a hologram, and I was like, that is cool. Wow. That is cool.
Good stuff. Amazing stuff. So,
End of anecdote.
So, are VR games going to offer freedom of traditional games, or are they destined to become a gimmick?
They might do one day. Who knows?
I think
anything's possible.
I think they will. I think I'm sort of optimistic that it seems like we're at a point now where so many people are getting involved with the sort of technology that it seems like there's a constant thing even if people aren't like completely focused on it, gamers and the like, even though they're not completely focused on it, they're aware of it, which seems to have come on a lot of leaps and bounds over the last couple of years than maybe before that.
Yeah.
Like when was it the Virtual Boy? Was the Virtual Boy a VR? What was the VR headset that came out?
Well, the Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
That was like some weird. That was.
I think anyway. What I mean is, like, it was back then. Back then, there was an attempt to sort of push it onto people, and it didn't get picked up. But it feels like now there's more of a more chatter about it. More people are like, maybe. But I still think the price point's a big thing.
Yeah,
because they're really expensive. But the one thing that I will say is that I do think that it will be able to give the freedom of traditional games, and I don't think it will be a gimmick, simply because PlayStation are going to be, or Sony are going to be packaging it with the PlayStation soon.
The new one, 4.5 or whatever it's called.
And then that then will open it up, and it won't be. I just feel like it's got more chance to live than the old swingy.
Yeah, well, there's more momentum, isn't there?
Things like that, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, with this, it feels like they're properly they're balls deep in it.
Yeah.
Whereas with stuff like
6-axis and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was all a bit tepid, wasn't it? It's all a bit like, we've kind of, it's all a bit like apologetic. Yeah. Exactly. Like, well, you've got this here if you want it, but, if you don't. Same thing with 3D. Like, there was never, they tried pushing it, but there just wasn't, by the industry, the industry didn't seem that enthused by it, whereas VR seems like everyone wants to have a little go on it. Everyone's quite excited by it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and me.
I'm excited. Of course I'm excited about it, but I just wake me up in 10 years when it's better.
All right, okay, we'll put you in stasis.
Forget it. Yeah.
Bertie D says, what's your most satisfying gaming sound effect? He says his is, he's asking if it is Zelda chest openings.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying, isn't it?
Is that your favourite?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Mine's the little fanfare that Dragon Quest VIII gives out when you rank up level. Beep, 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 beep. It might do that in all the Dragon Quests, but I've only played 8, so that's the one I'm going with.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of. I guess it changes. The Zelda chest opening one does particularly stay with you, though, doesn't it? Well, just me.
Just going off on two things that I'm going to say here. The first one is someone asked how many times, I can't remember who it was, but they didn't tag it with the hashtag. They asked how many times I've made my kid play Dragon Quest VIII so far. The answer's 12 times, and he's getting better. He's getting better.
You have to tie him into the chair.
Yeah, you have to tie him in.
Daddy!
Get the matchsticks in his eyes.
I want the night garden.
He don't like night garden. He doesn't like night garden.
Scares him.
Eagle Piggle scares him, yeah.
Eagle Piggle. I don't know why I'm watching it. My kids are away. Well, I don't watch it, but somehow I know about Eagle Piggle and the Night Garden.
He watches Peppa Pig, and Mr. Bean, the animated TV series.
It's an animated one?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, check it out. Check it out. Your kids will probably like it, mate. How old are they now? 21, 20, 28? And the other thing I was going to say was, like, speaking of sound effects, for some reason, when I thought about best gaming sound effects, I thought first about the crap ones that used to be on Mega Drive, like from Altered Beast and Last Battle, like or Golden Axe when you die, and it sounds like really tinny. Like, I guess it's only 16-bit sort of like sound effects and stuff, but it was awful. And then Pit Fighter. Do you remember Pit Fighter?
No, it's not my sort of game, mate. Too violent.
You love fighting, though, don't you? Especially in a pit.
It's too violent for me. I'm a lover, mate.
Stripped from your waist down. You love it.
I'm a lover.
The Pit Fighter music just sprung into my brain, which I'm pretty sure was made up of grunts and kick sounds. I think it went, but it was like sound effects that was from the game,
like on the keyboard. Like,
yeah,
I like stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was anyway. But that was a blast from the past.
Oh, mate, Fighter. That's going back. Hey, that's going back now, man. We'll have a hoop and a stick and be grateful for it.
I think it was like late 80s, so you must have been, what, about 42,
Here we go.
43?
He's old. Let's make a joke. That's oldism, mate. I'm age disabled.
Anyway, Mark Chamberlain, Woolly Mammoth, who we actually made play Overwatch by our talk on the last podcast, he says, I always struggle to think of something to ask. So could Matt think of something for me, please? Nice one.
What's your favourite prehistoric animal? Just going with the woolly mammoth thing.
Mine is the woolly mammoth. Coincidentally.
It is a good one, I must admit.
Yeah. And there was talk of bringing it back, right?
The woolly mammoth?
Yeah.
I can't talk about that, mate.
Oh.
People are listening.
Are you part of that again? It's quite the organisation you belong to.
Yeah, I can't really talk about that, mate. I don't know. Were sloths around in prehistoric times? Are they prehistoric animals that are still alive? I hope so.
Who knows? I mean, you set the question, and now you can't even answer it. That's amazing.
Sloths just taking their sweet. Maybe they're just slower to become extinct than all the other dinosaurs. I love sloths. Yeah, well, there's a sloth in Ice Age, isn't there? Because that's one of the characters with the woolly mammoth.
Speaking of sloths, have you seen the video clip of a sloth being brought in to people who are high? There's like 5 or 6 people that are like high, right, on the old weed pipes,
on the old whackers,
on the old magical cigarettes,
creative shit.
and they just bring in a sloth, and the reactions are amazing. I'm gonna have to show you that video because I think you'd be really happy.
I'll do it. I'll just get whacked out on the good shit, and I'll get up the zoo, mate.
Yeah, we'll do that next.
Will you still do, and will you still dee-da? Commodore 64.
Here we go then. The feature that will not die, no matter how hard I try to remove it from the agenda.
Come on, mate. People have been asking for more of it.
Yeah. Let's see, old Commodore 64.
La 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 la.
Get on with it.
I got a real good one. This is a hot one.
Yeah,
this is
good.
You're gonna change your tune
after
you've heard what this one's about.
Good.
So this week
I've just got a nip. I'll go and got a sandwich
Don't be like that, mate. Come on, you learn something here. So listen and learn.
Right.
So this week I'm going to be talking about the programming on Commodore 64 and some of my favourite commands while using the basic. It's called their operating system use on the Commodore 64 was the basic. which was an acronym for Beginners All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code, which kind of to me, so this is a good one, yeah? So I'm going quite deep now, but I thought, well, what did I used to like doing on the Commodore 64? And I used to like programming and writing some code. Come on, mate, you've got to wake up.
Oh, what's going on? And, so anyway, that's the end of another podcast, and thanks for... Oh, you're still going?
Look, people want to hear this.
Are you still going?
So
right, okay, go on.
It was a lot of people's first experience of coding, programming, and I find that quite interesting. And I think it's a shame that it isn't still something simple that people can do. So I used to like BASIC. So I've just pulled out a few of my favourite commands. Now there's the classic. You've probably heard of this.
Yeah.
Do you know like the 20 go to 10 command?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd start. So say you wanted to print something like on an endless loop on your screen, like my name is Nathan, I like cheese, my name is Nathan. Then what you would do, you start your first line of the program. This is using BASIC. 10 print, then in quotation marks, I like cheese, end quotation mark. Then on the next line, 20 go to 10, and basically what that command did is just tell it to repeat what's happening. So it's sort of like a loop, basically. So it's quite simple. And then once you've done that, that was it. That was all that was required. And then you type in run. That was the command to make the program run. And then it would run. And then you'd have I like cheese on your screen, just running just going forever, like. So
I've got some ironing to do.
I used to be able to make while it was doing the screen, like. Where are you going?
Oh, no, nowhere, mate.
Stood up, mate.
No, it's fine.
Put your shoes on.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You carry on.
I used to be able to make the whole the words "I like cheese" or whatever you put in there, fill the screen, and I'd also be able to make the screen flash different colours. But I can't remember how I used to do that now.
Shoes as well.
And I couldn't find any instructions for it on the internet. Another one of my favourite commands was poke. You familiar with the poke command? I know you've got a commanding poke, but
sorry, was you talking to me, mate? I was I'm busy.
So a poke command was one of my favourites. I'll tell you why it was one of my favourites, Nathan, and you'd be interested in this.
All right.
I'll be
the judge of that, but go on.
It was what a poke did. It would change the value in a specific command. So because of that, it was used a lot in cheats. So you change the value of how many lives you had or something like that. So often you'd have poke. I think the first numbers went up to had a 45,000 range, so from 0 to 45,000, and then the second lot went from 0 to 250. So you could have, for example, poke for 44,031, comma, and then what the original number was, and then it would alter various things in the game. So it was like the early cheats, really. But you'd have to do that in game. You'd have to break the code, the program from running, do these pokes. So you'd have to stop to do a poke. But and this is funny actually sometimes. If you got your poke wrong, so you got to be careful. If you get your poke wrong, you ran the risk of if you're making your own code, you ran the risk of losing the whole thing. It would just mess everything up. So you had to be pretty, careful where you put your pokes, because it could just fuck everything up. And then the last one,
sorry, I got a question for you there. Which part of that last section was of interest to me?
So the poke bit, where I'm talking about the poke and the why I enjoyed the poke.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to check which bit was interesting. But
right. Well, it's a bit about the poke, and of course my other favourite command, which wasn't even typed in, was you use two keys together, shift and run stop, and then that's how you used to load the games. You see, so you press shift and run stop, and then you get a command on the screen that said press play on tape, which is quite quaint now. And then you press play on tape, and the game would load. But I used to do quite a lot of programming. I used to program stuff in, and of course, the moment of truth, like the exciting, the real nail-biting moment would come when you'd spent time doing a big program, and you would type run, boom, and then it'd be like, is it going to run? Is it not going to run? And if it didn't run, often it would just come back with like syntax error. So are you familiar with them?
And that's another syntax error. Commodore 64 section.
And the syntax error,
we'll do something else next week.
But the interesting thing about syntax errors...
Probably do something else next week, won't we?
The interesting thing about syntax errors, it wouldn't tell you where the fault was.
No, it's been good while it's lasted.
You'd have to go and check the code by eye, like the whole thing.
It's been I think you put a lot of time and effort into this, so it's been good that you've done that.
I spent a lot of time wrestling with syntax errors in my day, mate. Let me tell you that, my friend.
There we have it then. The end of another jam-packed episode of the Cundy and Nathan Show.
It's packed with jam.
It is packed with jam. It's completely sticky from centre to edge.
Can I just say then, when you had the little break after the Commodore 64 bit, you said, "Oh, actually, yeah, I remember that. I was all quite interested." And it's like, just say that in the bit because you know you're enjoying it.
Come on.
You know you're enjoying it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I remember doing that, making the screen flash." It's like, you had a little story, and you're telling me about your favourite pokes and that, and it's like, "What's up with you, mate? You got to be so down on it." But it's what the kids want. I'm just giving the kids what they want.
I mean, that's just quite bizarre that you've even gone there with that little thing that you've just made up in your head. But that's fine.
You were literally talking to me about it. You were like, yeah, I remember that. Oh, and I got all excited. It's nostalgia.
That's fine. I mean, I came into gaming at the Mega Drive, mate, so I don't even know what you're talking about. Not got a clue. Anyway, thanks for listening to the Cundy and Nathan Show. Again, another little... Oh, we've got another jingle. Haven't we?
Jingle jangle.
Jingle jangle. Thank you, everyone, that has put money into the Podbean... what is it? The Patron pot.
Yeah.
And if you want to... If you still... We're going to keep it there forever, so... It's just there. So if you want to put some money in, then you can do. If you don't want to, then don't bother. We won't stop mentioning it. Put it that way.
We'll keep gentle little reminders, polite. It's not. This isn't a police state. We're
exactly
not coming at you with riot shields and batons.
Yes, forcing money out of your pockets.
Hit me with your baton.
But after this little exit, we've got a nice little jingle for you. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from I.
So thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again next week.
Hello, lovely listener. It's Cundy here. Are you enjoying your weekly dollop of tangential gaming gas bagging and mouthpiece merrymaking? If you are being entertained by our humble little podcast, please consider becoming a patron and pledging some money to show your support. To make a pledge, simply go to cundyandnathan.podbean.com and hit the big green Become a Patron button. It's that simple. Thank you in advance for being so wonderful.
Give us $1 or maybe 10, and in return we'll be your friend and maybe make the podcast better.